What it is, everybody. I'm doing a cold open. Man, I have a lot of things to talk about today, but I hope that I can get people tuned in so somebody can talk to me about cryptocurrency. I want to tell you guys what's going on in that space. I need people to get a chance to be tuned in before I get into it. So I wonder what I should play you guys first, if what you guys want to know about. I have something on. Oh, okay. So I can tell you guys. I was off just for a few days, enjoying the site. I have some pictures. I'd like to show you guys some pictures, but I have some that are private too. So I have to be careful about it. So I might have to switch back and forth. I live in the Central California coast. It's good to do different things other than YouTube all the time. And welcome everybody. Thanks for being a supporter of this show, whether you do it financially or not. And it's okay if people don't do it financially. Unirock's here. Good. Maybe he has something to say about Bitcoin. Maybe he has something to say. Hey, Unirock, what's up? We have more people joining Twitch. Okay, okay. Let's keep my thoughts together. Nothing happened Thursday or Saturday, and things could have, and they didn't so far. So far, none of the big people have been indicted. I do have something that hasn't been reported. I should probably make a short video on about what Donald Trump has done to maybe put Clinton down. There is something he did for real, and there are indications that things are going that direction. It certainly seems like the Podesta group can't help but get affected by the investigation that they're doing. They can't help uncover a bunch of dirt on them. So the end is near, we think. And then with what's going on in Saudi Arabia, there is some recent news. Maybe I'll tell you that. It just went to the top of Zero Hedge. Maybe I'll read you guys that first, since that has to do with cryptocurrency anyway. World affairs do in some sense. So let me give you that story first, just because it just popped up in the news. And then what I'd like is if people can get tuned in who know about crypto, who have some knowledge or maybe have a YouTube channel on it, then we'd like to talk to them. And I have some news about what happened, and I have some video to play you that kind of explains a little bit. And I did predict it too. I was going to play you guys that as well. But let me show you this story just because I haven't had a chance to read it yet. This is the big news right now, top of Zero Hedge. Arab League to hold urgent meeting on Iran as Saudis reportedly mobilize fighter jets. It says Reuters and various regional sources are holding an emergency meeting at a moment when Saudi fighter jets may be mobilizing for war in an attempted show of force. Egypt-based Aram Online also reports further that the meeting will discuss Iranian interference in the regime at League headquarters in Cairo and other early unconfirmed reports indicating the meeting could come as early as next Sunday. Next Sunday? That's not that soon. News of the Arab League extraordinary session comes as tensions are at a breaking point as regional powers, especially Saudi Arabia and Israel, talk war against perceived Iranian expansion and domination in the Middle East. Meanwhile, the Daily Star, citing the Baghdad Post, claims that Saudi Arabia has scrambled its air force for strikes in Lebanon. Reports now state that the Royal Saudi Air Force has placed its warplanes on alert to launch strikes as the region sits on a knife edge. I have more about Lebanon too. So maybe we'll get back. Well, no, I'll tell you about that now since we're already talking about it. And then we'll get to crypto, and I'll take phone calls on crypto for people who know about it. So I'll play you a little video that explains some of what's going on. I'll play a video showing that I predicted, or I didn't predict it, but I called it based on some information I had before the supposed fork. And then I'll play a video explaining it. And then I'll play my intro, and then maybe we'll take phone calls and stuff. I like letting you guys know what's going to happen in advance. This is, let's see. Here's a short video, it looks like. That's pretty scary. That's the Baghdad Post. It's only got 345 views, and the channel has 7 subscribers. But it's great that Zero Hedge got that video for their post. The Daily Star adds the following accompanying the video: the kingdom has mobilized its F-15 fighter jet fleet to launch a military operation against the Iranian-backed terrorist militia of Hezbollah in Lebanon. Regional news website The Baghdad Post reports. Saudi Arabia previously accused both Lebanon and Iran of committing act of war against it after rebels fired a missile at the King Khalid International Airport in kingdom's capital of Riyadh. They say it's unlikely that the Saudis will take direct military action against Lebanon. The report reveals the legitimate fears of Lebanese citizens. Well, anyway, what happened in Lebanon, and we'll get into what Iran is being accused of. Iran is currently being scapegoated for just about all tensions which have exploded in the Gulf over the past week, including the following. Iran's being blamed for this: the civil war in Yemen, the Qatar economic blockade and isolation over accusations that it is Iran-friendly, the latest civil unrest in Bahrain, and the alleged bombing of a major oil pipeline there, ratcheting up tensions with Israel in support of Hezbollah, destabilizing Lebanon itself, leading to Prime Minister Saad Hariri's resignation, in quotes, all of this precipitating the Saudi night of the long knives. I'll tell you, because I said I would tell you, about Hariri. At first, Lebanon said they believed Hariri was being held against his will in Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is where he made his resignation from, and then he blamed Iran and I think Hezbollah as being against him and said he was in fear for his life because of assassination. And one of these sources here in the Reuters article, a senior politician close to Saudi allied Hariri said Saudi Arabia had ordered him to resign and put him under house arrest. A fourth source familiar with the situation said Saudi Arabia was controlling and limiting his movement. Well, news today says Hariri will return to Lebanon in days. This news just broke. It says he will return and that his movements have been free in Saudi Arabia. Quote, here in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, I am free. I have complete freedom, but I want to look after my family as well. So that's what's going on in Lebanon. Okay. Oh, shoot. I didn't show you the good screen. That's the good screen right there. Okay. Cryptocurrency. Let's show you what's going on with it. Bitcoin peaked around $7,900 a few days ago. It was going up in anticipation of this fork where it was going to, again, become two currencies like happened before. So you have some Bitcoin. I'll try to explain to people who don't know crypto. If you had some, like one Bitcoin, if it forked, you get one Bitcoin and one of the other thing it forks into. And it forked before into this thing called Bitcoin Cash, which then had some value. recently it was about $300 a coin compared to Bitcoin's over $7,000 a coin recently. Then the fork, the latest one, didn't happen. And Bitcoin sold off like crazy. And Bitcoin Cash has like quadrupled in value from where it was. From $300, you see Bitcoin Cash now at $1,380. So, or I'm sorry, yeah, $1,380 from about $300 at the end of October. You want me to show you some charts? This is Bitcoin recently. Let's see if I can do a longer chart. So this is Bitcoin since May. I started talking about crypto and saying to get into it around here in July, like back here, around $2,500 per Bitcoin. And then it went up, it went up, it went up, and then it peaked just recently, and you can see it's a very precipitous decline. It was just as dramatic a turn upwards, though, too, in anticipation of this fork, where people think, oh, when it forks, then I get free money, because you get the other tokens, too, to match your Bitcoin. So this split did not happen. And when news of that happened, the price spiked for a second and then it went down. So let me zoom in a little. So this was on November 9th, November 8th. Okay, so I'm going to show you what I posted on November 7th, just to show you that I got lucky. And then as far as Bitcoin Cash, which trades under BCH or B. This is what Bitcoin Cash looked like. I'll go over the same period. It doesn't have a chart for as long, but it was down here, around 300, 400 a coin, and then it kind of went vertical. Let's see what it's doing right now. Right now it's down from where it was earlier today. Where it spiked up to almost $2,800, but then came down from there. But it stabilized, and same with Bitcoin. Let me show you over the same period. Come on, Bitcoin. Over the same period, Bitcoin's been going way down. So anyway, I made a video about it, and now we don't know what's happening. Bitcoin seems to be kind of, it keeps going down. So if you have some, you might want to think about it. And that's what I did. I made, for my $5 patrons, I did do an update on November 7th, regardless of if I had any intel or not. So I would do that. And then I have some stuff to tell you guys about Bitcoin. I guess I should tell you, since this is a preview show, is that it might be time to sell Bitcoin. It might be time to sell Bitcoin real bad. So I'm going to try to see if I can get somebody on my show to talk about that. Bitcoin may with the split that's coming up, and then people realizing that Bitcoin's not so great for transactions, it really might lose a bunch of value. And you might have to have your money in other coins to avoid that happening. So it's kind of a big deal. So you can ask me about that on Discord. I'm sure everybody at this level probably talks to me on Discord. But I'm going to try to talk about it on the show. Basically, what I'd recommend, what I need to do, is sell or transfer my Bitcoin, turn it into, LiteCoin will be the easiest because I think I can do that right on Coinbase. But Bitcoin Cash is probably good to have too, based on what I'm reading. So those of you who have Bitcoin or been investing in it, it might be time to change that Bitcoin into LiteCoin, Bitcoin Cash, or maybe Ripple coin, something other than the BTC Bitcoin, because when it splits, it might spell doom for that whole the whole Bitcoin thing as it currently exists. And that could be bad for a lot of people. So it'll be good to be prepared for that. So I'll hopefully talk about that more on the show. Okay, so that was pretty solid. That was November 7th. And November 7th in Bitcoin, oh boy, I can go further back, was like right here. And now we're down here. It's not so good. And in Bitcoin Cash, November 7th is right here. So if I had listened to my own advice and gotten Bitcoin when or Bitcoin Cash at $600, it's hard to get. The thing is that people are realizing that Bitcoin doesn't work well for transactions. It's taking forever. And in fact, I would have gotten a better price on what I did, which was change it to LiteCoin, because I could on the exchange I was on. And it's held up better than Bitcoin for sure. And I still kind of recommend it. I would sell the bounce in Bitcoin if you can. But that's me. Things could change. In fact, things could change drastically. And this video I have is going to talk about that. So maybe I'll play that, and then I'll put up my phone number and keep talking about it and see if somebody wants to call in and talk about it who thinks they have other advice. I think, okay, this is what I think with cryptocurrencies you need to do right now, because Bitcoin could, I was going to show you guys pictures of my vacation. Well, I'll have to save that for another time. It wasn't a vacation, but I went around to the beach and stuff. It was nice. What about it? Oh, I think you need to be diversified. Bitcoin Cash is seeing something right now. If you can get some, which is hard. You have to get to the right exchanges. So we can talk about how to get it. If you, that it's the one doing well now, but now people are considering other options other than Bitcoin. So other currencies are also catching a tailwind, like Dash. So people might even want to call in about what they recommend for other currencies. But for ease of use, there are 3 currencies for sale on Coinbase, which is the only US-based exchange that I'm aware of. And that's LiteCoin, Ethereum, and Bitcoin. And I would say if you're wanting to invest in cryptocurrencies, that you just want to be more diversified than you were. If you had maybe 50% Bitcoin or 100% Bitcoin, I'd say it's time, before it might just keep going down. It might go to hardly anything. It might not be the dominant coin anymore. It might lose its position as that, and that means one of the other ones will be. And right now it looks like Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash isn't that easy to get. So I'd say get into Ether and LiteCoin if you're gonna make some changes and don't want to go through a lot of headache. If you can get Bitcoin Cash, I would buy the dip if it dips. Even if it doesn't, I might try to trade for some. It's just that Bitcoin's messed up right now. People are realizing when they try to use it that the transactions are expensive if they're a lower dollar denomination expression and transaction especially, and they take a long time. They take a long time to transfer. So even if I wanted Bitcoin Cash, I'd have to send my Bitcoin to an exchange that sells Bitcoin Cash, but that can take hours right now. Hours, for the reason this guy's going to talk about. So I'll play that. I'll play my intro, and then we'll talk about it a little bit more, and then we'll maybe get some phone calls on it. Although maybe I chose the wrong topic to get people tuned in. We'll see. And then we'll start talking about Sutherland Springs Baptist Church shooting a little bit too. So let me play this, and then I'll see you on the other side.
You see that URL, go there. You will see all these unconfirmed transactions. Try and send yourself, or try and send a family member or a friend some Bitcoin. It will take hours right now, 8, 9, 10 hours. Because, why? Look at the number of unconfirmed transactions. 156,408, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15. It keeps going up. What does that mean? These are all the transactions that the mining computers around the world, mainly in China, are not, oh man, look at how fast these things are going, are not processing. Why aren't they processing them? Well, because if you go to fork.lol/pow/retarget, it'll tell you the reward. I'm not going to show you this page because this page tells you that Bitcoin Cash, if you mine Bitcoin Cash, you will make more money per hour than mining Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is really expensive, but if you have a $3,000 ASIC that mines Bitcoin, that does all the Bitcoin transaction processing that this is supposed to be doing, then what you want, and you're spending expensive electricity money, what you want to do is make as much money per hour, per kilowatt hour as you can. And Bitcoin Cash is giving you more money than Bitcoin. That's why miners are moving over to Bitcoin Cash. And so all these transactions aren't being processed. So if you're trying to buy, I don't know, Neo or Ethereum or your favorite altcoin, well, you can't do it because Bitcoin's not processing. So what people are doing is they're selling their Bitcoin, buying Bitcoin Cash, and then sending their Bitcoin Cash from one exchange to another. And when will this change? When will this get fixed? Well, there's something called difficulty. I'm not going to show you this page either. You have to go do your own homework because this is, I just don't have time to explain this. But I will tell you this. When the difficulty gets adjusted, what that means is that miners, the guys with the $3,000 ASICs that were made in China, namely Bitmain, you can also look up Bitmain Jihanwu. When they make adjustments, that's when you can actually get paid more. So if you're a miner, you bought a $3,000 ASIC and you plugged it into your mom's basement and you're trying to mine Bitcoin for Bitcoin rewards, guess what? Bitcoin Cash pays you a lot more. And in 13 hours and 3 minutes, Bitcoin Cash will make an adjustment. Well, it's hard to say whether Bitcoin Cash will pay you less or pay you more at this point. But in 13 hours, they will change the amount of money that they pay out, the amount of Bitcoin Cash that they pay out for mining, for handling these transactions on Bitcoin Cash. Now remember, this is the Bitcoin network that's not confirming. If you went to the Bitcoin Cash network, this number would be close to zero because everything's being processed because Bitcoin Cash is paying more than Bitcoin. Now here's the crazy part. Look at this. Bitcoin, original Bitcoin, there's not an adjustment for 4 weeks scheduled. What does that mean? 4 weeks. 4 freaking weeks. Nothing's going to happen to how much money the miners get from Bitcoin. So imagine if you're getting paid way more to mine, to do processing for Bitcoin Cash than you were Bitcoin. After you spent $3,000 and after you're spending, I don't know, $10, $20, $30 a day on electricity, which would you mine? You'd let this happen, wouldn't you? You'd just let all these unconfirmed transactions happen. Now it's almost 155,000. Oh my goodness. For 4 weeks. This is a regularly scheduled update. So we could, in theory, not have any of these transactions this number might not go down and actually have Bitcoin transactions start getting confirmed for 4 freaking weeks. Can you believe that? Okay, so what does that mean? That means that Bitcoin Cash might actually be worth 1.0 Bitcoin, might actually be worth 2.0 Bitcoin, might actually be worth 4 Bitcoin. Think about that. Bitcoin being worth $1,000 and Bitcoin Cash being worth, I don't know, $6,000, $7,000. That could happen if it takes 4 weeks for the difficulty, to adjust. But is this locked in stone? No, because the Bitcoin core team can actually do an upgrade. They can do a soft fork upgrade. How long does that take? Let's see. And I'm sure they're doing it right now, but a soft fork upgrade requires that they change the code, change the difficulty immediately. So instead of 4 weeks, they could have it done in a couple hours, okay? But can this actually happen in a couple hours? Well, what has to happen is that they have to get the exchanges like Bittrex, Poloniex, Bithumb, everybody to agree to use the soft forked code and implement it on all their wallets, and all the miners have to go, oh, look, Bitcoin is offering to pay us more than Bitcoin Cash. Let's stop processing Bitcoin Cash and start processing Bitcoin now. Ta-da! So miners get to flip back and forth as to which one they want to process, which one they want to mine. And if they decide not to mine something because somebody's paying more, guess what? This happens. Man, look at that number. 246, 247, 9, 50, 51, 52, 53, 55, 7. This is how much Bitcoin Cash is growing because Bitcoin is just stalled. Try to send somebody that you know some money. You cannot do it right now. This is how backlogged Bitcoin's processing is. Oh my goodness. So if you wanted to have known this, and if you wanted to have bought Bitcoin Cash.
Anyway, that's it. I asked him to be on my show, but I don't think I missed him. But we have people in the chat like Full-Time Geek who might come in. Anyway. Okay, cue musical intro. Boy, that's brilliant. I do think some things in the world are real. Like you guys. You guys are real. Most of you most of my listeners, I think, are not just in my head. I think I have the metrics to prove it. You've taken a leap of faith today. What is that sound? And I apologize if you take offense. I'm a little offended myself. Welcome to our show. Welcome to the future. What it is, joining you live from sunny California. It's a beautiful day today. I'm your host, Nathan Stoltman. And I bring you the news, the real news. What it is. I do a soft intro and a hard intro. Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for joining me on YouTube. For sure, we have about 100 people tuned in. Thanks for joining me on Twitch. We have about 45 people tuned in. It's Sunday. I've been on the air for a few days. I was out. Here, let me see if I can show you. See? I was there. Pismo Dunes. That's one picture from there. Let me see. That's another picture from there too. And then I have to back away so I don't show you personal pictures, but then I can show you. I've been on vacation. I told you guys I'd tell you about it. Oh, this is Avila Beach. I'll show you. That's Avila. Very nice. And then I took some pictures of wildlife. There are pelicans out in California. Let me see how many pictures I can show you. That's a cool picture of pelicans. Here, we have these big brown pelicans. It's important to live life, like be a real person. I think one of these days when shit hits the fan, I'm going to be broadcasting like 12 hours a day. I have a feeling about that. So I was trying to take a little time before that happens. Here's some nice pelicans. See the pelicans? That's out in Pismo Beach. Let me see. I'll show you some more. I just have to make sure I don't show you anything. Oh, here's nice. There's a pelican going over the water. Weather's nice here. It's been nice. Do you see how flat it is, by the way? It's flat. It's freaking flat. Looks flat, at least. That's what I say always. And then I got pictures of a seagull, too, who was up at the restaurant I was at. He's cute, too. See? That's with my iPhone camera. Look, I even gave him a portrait mode. He's cute. He's a cute little seagull. He wanted to eat our food after we were done eating it. He was pretty cute. I got him, and then I got some more pelicans. Hold on. I'm showing you this because it's important for F's sake. I got a lot of pictures of that gull. And then another one, too. Oh, I saw chemtrails while I was out. See? Oh, maybe I'm not showing. Oh, that was fucked up. What the hell just happened? Oh boy, hold on. Okay, now I got it. Now I got chemtrails. Let's see. See that? Man, it's been bad lately. Has it been bad near you guys too? That big, thick white one went all the way across the damn sky. It's really bad. See those? Those are bad. Nice weather, though. Oh, and then I got pictures of pelicans. Here's pelicans. See these guys? They were all camped out on the rock at this gazebo. That was there. It's nice. Nice out, California. So anyway, we're talking about cryptocurrency. I just thought I'd show you guys what I was doing on my day off so you guys are happy for me. I just played you the reason that Bitcoin Cash is going up. I have to talk about this because it's big news to some people and it's big money. Because Bitcoin just might tank and everybody might lose faith. They were going to be like, oh my God, Bitcoin is a scam. It might be kind of engineered to do this too, this Bitcoin Cash. So I'm letting you beware because it's money. It's important. And I told people that it was a good idea to invest in Bitcoin. And I had some Bitcoin. Actually, all the Bitcoin I had was from people giving donations in Bitcoin. And you can do that. It'd be great if you wanted to. I'd still take it. I have my addresses in my description. I also have a store where I sell stuff, but I'll tell you guys about that later. Here's a guy, Satoshi Nakamoto's confidant, Gavin Andresen, throws support behind Bitcoin Cash. And I mean, it's going up. This guy said one of the lead developers for Bitcoin Gavin Andresen has thrown his support behind Bitcoin Cash. Cheaper transactions, more scalable. Like I said, people started to realize that Bitcoin transactions were too damn expensive and they took too long. And then the reason I said to sell it was because somebody in the Discord room, the crypto room of our Discord, which there's useful information on that Discord. I get lots of information that way. This is one of them, predicting the outcome of the November Bitcoin fork. This is when it was still supposed to happen. This person predicted the most likely scenario. Oh, well, here. It was supposed to split into two chains. It says the complicating factor is the existence of Bitcoin Cash, a fork of Bitcoin which shares the same proof of work but has in addition an improved DAA that ensures it can adjust. That's a difficulty adjustment algorithm. Bitcoin Cash has one that ensures it can adjust downward rapidly in the event that miners stop mining, which means that it'll keep the block interval at 10 minutes on average. Bitcoin Cash cannot die, it says, but both of the results of the flip could have died, or the fork could have died. Now, the fork didn't happen, but this guy still predicted Bitcoin Cash would become the predominant coin, which might still happen. So I'm just telling you guys, it's good to have cryptocurrency right now, but it's good to be diversified, because Bitcoin, as it is right now, is not very good for transactions, for actually using it. And now with cryptocurrency, it's getting into a use phase. Let me put up my phone number, and then maybe somebody will want to call in about this too. Let me open my phone. How's everybody doing? I hope everybody had a good weekend. I hope everybody's glad that nothing happened. I'm kind of mixed about it because I need to have topics to talk about. And I just felt like the last few days, nothing really happened, you know. There's a lot of news. I'm going to cover a lot of news, and I'm going to cover news about the Sutherland Springs Baptist Church shootings. I'm asking for calls right now here for people who want to talk about Bitcoin, and Full-Time Geek was in there. He'd want to talk about Steam and Steam It, but I don't know much about those. So anybody who wants to call in about those things, I'm open to it. I think I told you everything I was going to tell you about crypto too. Shoot. I wonder if I opened up the phones too late. I wonder if there are enough people watching to give calls. Everybody loves to talk about crypto though. That's into crypto. So I just want to get a few calls on it if I can. We'll wait. We don't have as many people tuned in. Certainly not as many people as Richie from Boston. Holy cow. He's already got 2,300 subscribers. I wonder if it would make a difference if I could, leave my videos up. It's really a shame. YouTube is messed up. I will tell you that, I could tell you about money. I could tell you about money while we wait to get a call, and gold and silver, which are much safer investments. And maybe I should just say, if you care about your money and you're not trying to take a risk, and you still want your money to hold value, then you should buy precious metals like silver, gold. And I always tell people to buy silver and buy it anytime the price could suddenly go up finally. It's very manipulated, but right now I would say generally speaking, it's pretty cheap compared to what it should be worth. And the way to buy it, I could show you. I wonder if that would be a demonstration. Let me do a demonstration for you. I'll open my safe. Hold on. Okay, let's see. Okay, so I can grab something like this. Okay. All right. So, is anybody there? Everybody hates this stuff. Somebody in the chat is complaining. Well, some people need to talk about money. If you want to buy it, you can go to your coin store and just ask for junk silver. And what junk silver is, it's not scrap. Somebody could call me if they want to talk about crypto. If not, I'm just going to move on. Okay. We already talked about it. I already said you should try to sell it. If you can get junk silver, and what it is, this is a roll of dimes. All it is old American. Oh boy, I wonder if I can show it to you. Old American coins. I could show you. See, and then you get these for basically the price of, spot. You know, you get it really close to spot, and then you actually get some cool coins from it. It's American money. It'll be mixed up. That's just a regular one that you guys are used to. Has to be 1964 and earlier, because dimes, quarters, half dollars, because those were weighed out. A dime is like 1/10 of an ounce, approximately. So anyway, that's the way I recommend buying it, unless you want to go for something more premium, and these sell for more. These sell for over the spot price, but you can get these, and these are always they'll buy them from you for over spot too. Let's see. That's what you buy from the mint. Silver, 99.9% silver dollars. They're worth more than $1 though. So anyway, that's it. That's if you want to get something safer than crypto. I couldn't get any calls on it. I tried. Maybe people will want to call later. I'm going to change the title of the episode, and then we're going to get into Sutherland Springs shooting. Okay. If it were the old way, okay, let's go to info and settings. If it were the old way, I don't even know what I was going to say. Oh, then I would say I would say something like Sutherland Springs church shooting, and then I'd say HOAX, but you can't say that. And then people would tune into it looking for that kind of thing. Okay, let me see if I can delete my... I don't think I can delete my thumbnail. I want to change it though. I'll maybe change it to the Sutherland Springs thing. There. Okay, I have that. I'll just change it to that. Okay, and I'll change this thing on here too. I could tell you guys, the monetary system change is part of the big reset, so it's a big deal. Money is always going to be a thing, and regardless, we're never going to get rid of something called money, and chances are it's going to be in the form of gold, silver, and cryptocurrency. Okay, I'm going to go over a lot of different news too. I'll even play you some Chuck Todd and Meet the Press from today. I want to show you guys what American propaganda is like first. I played this once on my show before, but I think it's so illuminating that it's worthwhile just to know what is on the radio, what they're determining as Russian propaganda. They're still saying that Russians are controlling the internet, and RT has to register as a foreign agent now in order to still broadcast. I mean, it's really, really crazy. And this I was listening to in the car once, and I played it on my show, but listen to how they define Russian propaganda as far as the Podesta group.
Pull up the dashboard right now and see what these Russian affiliated accounts are talking about right now. And I see that the number one trending hashtag is Podesta Group. This is referring to the Democratic lobbyist Tony Podesta. The top URLs, the first one is a Justice Department document unsealed yesterday related to the indictments. And the second one is a story, Tony Podesta stepping down from lobbying giant amid Mueller probe. Why would this be of such interest to these Russian-affiliated accounts?
Of course, the big news of the week is actually the indictment of Paul Manafort and Richard Gates, both former Trump campaign officials, Paul Manafort, the former chairman of the campaign, and the guilty plea of George Papadopoulos, a foreign policy advisor.
And their names are below Podesta on this list.
Mm-hmm. What we see here is a classic Russian tactic called whataboutism. It's basically trying to muddy the waters, to obfuscate truth, to create the idea that everything is relative, that, oh, look, both the Democrats and the Republicans are in trouble for Russia stuff, when the reality is, Tony Podesta hasn't been indicted for anything at this point. To think about sort of what they're doing here is a lot of times they're simply amplifying stories that they believe is useful to them, trying to basically...
So fake news is the wrong term.
Fake news is completely the wrong term. I mean, disinformation is sort of what we use most generally, but I mean, these are information operations that span a scale. They're trying to use the social media platforms to distort the information curve, to make certain things trend, to make certain things more popular, to influence certain segments of the conversation in order to basically shape the overarching narrative and conversation that we see happening.
Should the tech companies be doing this work that you're doing here?
I think that the tech companies have certainly been evolving in how they think about their responsibilities on these issues. I certainly hope that they are all doing this internally. The fact that every week they continue to uncover additional ways that their platforms were exploited by the Russian networks indicates to me that whatever they're doing internally, it's still not quite enough.
That's Laura Rosen.
You're a Russian troll. That's Laura Rosenberger. Lauren Rosenberger. I looked up Lauren Rosenberger. She's right here. Lauren Rosenberger is Senior Fellow and Director of the Alliance for Securing Democracy. Before she joined the German Marshall Fund, she was foreign policy advisor for Hillary for America, by the way. She said, they're acting like the Podesta news is really news when it's not news. Clearly the news is that Gates and Manafort were indicted and they were part of the Trump campaign. So far, nothing showing Russian collusion. It's big story today. Oh, man. Now that I'm talking about this, I feel like I have to change the Sutherland Springs shooting title. Now that I'm talking about this, I could play you the latest in political developments, which I think you guys want to hear. I have some from Chuck Todd today. Meet the Press, meeting with one of the guys from the Trump team. Chuck Todd will tell you his introduction. Maybe I'll do that first. I'll have to change the title to Russian meddling, or to Donald Trump loves Putin. Trump loves Putin. That's the big news of the day, is that Donald Trump loves Putin. I'll play you guys something from Meet the Press. Let me see if I can get it. Here. Okay. Since I can do this. This is on some other YouTube channel, so I'm going to risk it. This is the latest update from the Trump campaign about what's going on. Just so you know, this is what happened. Donald Trump, apparently, as far as the media is concerned, came out and said, I love Putin because Putin told him that he didn't meddle. Donald Trump said he didn't meddle. He didn't meddle. Even though, and everybody says, even though the intelligence communities all concurred unanimously that Russia, Doshi's here. Man, I'm in his way. Here. Here. Is that better? And I'll move down. Sorry, Doshi. Doshi's here. What's up, man? Thanks for coming. Okay, great. That makes the show a lot better. That usually gets more people tuned in. Donald Trump said, I believe him. There was no meddling. And now he had to take that back. He already had to take it back because all this pressure. When we know it was always bullshit from the beginning. So far, no evidence of Russian meddling, even if Flynn and Flynn Jr. get indicted. Nothing is being tied to Donald Trump working with the Russians or anybody working with the Russians to influence the election. Meanwhile, Hillary Clinton, yes, messing with the Russians in order to try to rig or change a U.S. election, and now trying to overthrow a duly elected government in what could be called treason. Because the Russian research came out after he was elected. That's when the dirty dossier came out, after he was elected. How was it leaked? It was leaked through their attorneys who were paying Fusion GPS. Treason. That's why we might have indictments coming up. People are talking about a bunch of sealed indictments, but I wouldn't know whether those exist or not, and I wouldn't necessarily trust it. if you're just tuning in, this big banner on the bottom of my screen, twitch.tv/lifttheveil411, that's because once I talk about the Sutherland church shootings, and if somebody suggests that they might not have taken place the way they are said to have taken place, then you can't have that kind of video on YouTube, as far as I can tell. At least I don't seem to be able to. So Richie from Boston is keeping stuff up on his new channel. Other people might be talking about it, but I don't, I every time I do something risky, then I seem to lose a channel. So these things get archived. They're available for replay on Twitch. And some people really like Twitch better. Either way, it's good to have the app installed and be able to watch that way, because sometimes I start early there. I could do entire shows that I wouldn't do on YouTube out of fear they'd pull it in the middle. Like if I do something about the, I always want to call them the Chronicles, the Protocols of the Learned Elders of Zion. If I ever wanted to do a show on that, I wouldn't really be able to do it on YouTube. So that's what Twitch is for. It's for the future. Marty Leeds 33 just joined Twitch. I will automatically host him on my channel when he's live, but he only has one video up so far, and I think he uploaded it. But other people are going to be moving over to Twitch. So, and that's just because, right? Like if I wanted to put out, for example, I have stickers for sale. Here, can I have one of my stickers? I'll show you. I'll take the big one. So, for example, I have stickers for sale. And if I want to advertise on them, which I don't do very prominently, see, I put twitch.tv/lifttheveil411. If I wanted to advertise for YouTube, for my YouTube channel, I might put a channel on there that doesn't exist anymore by the time this gets on somebody's window. That's why I have Twitch. And I already have over 500 subscribers. For anybody wondering about it, it's kind of working out. I mean, people tune in. Even when people are tuned in on YouTube. So, and that's just to let you know. Oh, shit. That's just to let you know how the end of the world is breaking down for YouTube users. Oh, no, I don't need to talk about that right now. Okay. So anyway, that's Twitch. That's why that's there. That's where you can find these videos after they're over. I'm sorry that I can't leave them up on YouTube. We'll see. We'll see how I talk today, and I'll see if I can leave one up for once. Okay, I promised you a little Chuck Todd, NBC, Donald Trump news. So I'll give you that now.
Your views, I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, Chuck.
You got it. Well, joining me now is the White House Director of Legislative Affairs, Mark Short. Mr. Short, welcome back to Meet the Press.
Chuck, thanks for having me back again. Congrats on your Hurricanes last night.
Thanks, I'll admit, I'm still on a bit of a high on that. Let me quickly start with the Roy Moore situation here. You had said you were waiting to see what Mr. Moore had to say when you were asked about this. You have heard Roy Moore's denials. Has he comforted?
Oh, I got you guys up to speed on this the other day. There's a Republican candidate named Judge Roy Moore, who was accused of somebody in the Washington Post of having a relationship with him when she was 14 and he was like 32, where one of the times they did one of their little dates, there was her removing clothing, I think, and him touching her inappropriately for her age, and then her touching him over his briefs, and then two other ladies saying that he dated them, not necessarily doing anything non-consensual or maybe even against the law, because they were over the age of consent, I believe, but they did have a taste, I suppose you could say, for younger girls. So the split on this is that the establishment GOP says, hey, this guy Roy Moore, who's the candidate now for Senate there, and they can't get rid of him and replace him anymore with another candidate. The best they can do is do a write-in candidate, and that's not very practical. That candidate has now been accused of this thing by a left-wing newspaper who I believe supports the candidate running against him. And in this time where people are tending to believe the people making these accusations, you have a problem between the people that say, well, he should step down if these things are true. And then people who are saying, including Roy Moore, who's trying to discredit the alleged victim, which is a very dangerous thing to do, I think, in these times. And there was somebody else who played in the intro for this Meet the Press. I wonder where he's gone. There was somebody else who, sorry, I'm distracted, who played in this intro for Meet the Press that says she should take a lie detector test. Now that's really extreme. It's something you wouldn't say to a victim, that now they have to go in because they made a claim, they have to go take a lie detector test. That's really upsetting and insulting probably to anybody who's been through that kind of thing before. So there's a chance, because Breitbart is defending him too until further notice, there's a chance that people who do that are really going to get, the hammer on them, at least from people who care about that stuff. So that's the delicate situation the Republican Party is in right now. Most of the establishment has said that Roy Moore should step down if the allegations are true, or prove that they're not true, maybe. So that's the story with him. Okay, we'll get you back on.
Did you, or has he made you more skeptical of the situation?
No, Chuck, first let me say that I have a 9-year-old daughter, as you know, and I think that the notion of innocent, defenseless children being molested is one of the most painful thoughts a parent could have. Mm-hmm. And I think that there's a special place in hell for those who actually perpetrate these crimes. And I think Roy Moore has to do more explaining than he has done so far. But I think we here in Washington have to be careful as well in this. Mm-hmm. Roy Moore is somebody who graduated from West Point. He served our country in Vietnam. He's been elected multiple times statewide in Alabama. Mm-hmm. The people in Alabama know Roy Moore better than we do here in D.C. And I think we have to be very cautious, as Senator Toomey said, of allegations that are 40 years old that arise a month before Election Day.
Scott Jennings, who was a former Bush official, you know him well, he said the following. He said, look, it strikes me that the people of Alabama would listen to the president. Basically, he says it's going to take presidential intervention to get possibly either Mr. Moore to step aside or to get this write-in candidacy on board. Is the president prepared to insert himself and to try to fix this situation for the public?
Chuck, he did insert himself. He supported Luther Strange in the primary against Roy Moore. People are forgetting that. This president has been engaged there, but I think as well...
Would he get re-engaged in?
I think the president's obviously on a very important trip, and when he returns, I think we'll have that conversation, Chuck. But I think that people here in this town have an inflated view of what our views are, and it's important for the people of Alabama to be allowed the chance to discern the truth here and to make the right decision.
Well, so if Alabama certifies that they're okay with Roy Moore, but this allegation, in your mind, he hasn't answered enough questions, and they still send him. Isn't it fair if Senate Republicans, you heard that Senator Toomey there was not ready to say whether he would be comfortable having him seated in the U.S. Senate. Do you understand where he comes from?
Absolutely. If more evidence comes out that can prove that he did this, then sure. By all means, he should be disqualified. But that's a huge if. And I think we have to allow that more facts come out. And Roy Moore has said,
more facts?
Roy Moore has said that this week he plans to come forward with more evidence to support his innocence.
And if that evidence doesn't work, what does that mean? You guys are going to step in. Is this Senate seat that important?
There's no Senate seat more important than the notion of child pedophilia, Chuck. I mean, that's the reality. But having said that, he has not been proven guilty of that, and we have to afford him the chance to defend himself.
Is there any way the president then just keeps us? You're saying the president's not going to get involved? That the Luther Strange situation?
I'd said that the president did get involved in the primary, as you know, and he supported somebody other than Roy Moore. I think the president's been on an incredibly important foreign trip. When he returns, I'm sure we'll have the chance to discuss this.
All right, let me move on. Speaking of the foreign trip and on the issue of Russia, on one hand, the president seemed to indicate in the back and forth with reporters on Air Force One that he kind of believed Vladimir Putin's denial. In front of TV cameras, he said, no, he's with the agencies. He wasn't questioning the agencies. What does the president believe? Does he believe in the intelligence assessment that Russia interfered in the 2016 election?
The president concurred with the January 2017 assessment he was provided by the Intelligence Committee. But let's be careful and be straight about what it is the president believes right now. He believes that after a year of investigations of tens of millions of taxpayer dollars, there is zero evidence of any ballot being impacted by Russian interference. What the president is trying to do right now is recognize that the gravest threat that America faces is North Korea developing nuclear weapons. And nuclear weapons in North Korea is a greater threat than Russia buying Facebook ads in America.
You think Russia's interference in our democracy, using American freedom, using the freedom that we have in America, freedom of expression, essentially weaponizing that freedom against the United States, that wasn't a grave threat?
I said that the president has, in fact, signed those sanctions against Russia. He has supported them, and they're being impacted right now. The president does not overlook that. He signed the proclamation that said that there was meddling. We're not denying that or saying it's not important, Chuck. We are saying that if we can get Russia to partner with us to help stop North Korea from developing nuclear weapons, and if we can partner with Russia to provide peace in the godforsaken area of Syria right now, that those are positive developments. And this investigation has gone on without one bit of evidence showing that one ballot was impacted. And it's time for us to actually partner with people to help protect our international interests.
So the president thinks Russia's been punished enough?
I think the president is more interested in figuring out how can we partner with them to help prevent North Korea from developing a nuclear weapon.
Mitch McConnell to Hugh Hewitt a week ago said it might be a good idea if social media companies worked with the United States to retaliate against Russia. Would the president support something like that?
I think that's probably more of a question for the CIA director, but I'm sure that we'd be entertaining that notion.
So the idea of punishing Russia further is still on the table as far as the president's concerned? All right, let's talk about the tax plan and the impact of Tuesday's elections.
Okay, too boring now. All right, I got you the Republican point of view on this Roy Moore thing, and then the Putin thing. I don't understand. I mean, it's a total subversion of our democracy or something. They're trying to, with the press and the deep state, manufacture some kind of war against Russia, when I don't think Trump is really necessarily looking to punish Russia for anything. Let me get that might have been better. Doshi's over there. I guess I can show you. Doesn't change things too much. Okay. You heard what it all said. He wants to work with him on Syria. He wants to work with him while he works against Iran, too. Donald Trump is doing something to get Hillary Clinton. There is something going on because, look here, not many people have seen this. A 10-year backlog of FOIA requests are being processed right now. And here, in late October, President Donald Trump began to lift the veil on the Washington State Department, saying he wants to accelerate the release of any remaining Hillary Clinton FOIA Act emails. He is accelerating the release of more than 13,000 outstanding FOIA cases, that including requests for documents pertaining to former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. Some of the requests are more than a decade old. Those requests are from members of Congress and other governmental offices, journalists, and individuals. So they say they want to do it as fast as possible. They consider it an attack on Clinton. Well, that's good. And Tillerson's behind it. Sources say they say that it's a political ploy. But we think it's good. It's big news. Not anybody really reported on that either. Okay? Let me have a drink. I'll take calls later. Coming up, we have a slightly smaller show today. Thanks everybody for joining me. The story, and I guess I can just go over some of the news from it, and then we can maybe take calls of what people think. But today they announced that they had a service there today at the church, but it wasn't really at the church. The church is supposed to be demolished. We have to know more about it, but over 100 people showed up to see a sermon today, and then they have quotes from it, but they don't have video of it, unfortunately. I wish I could see video of the people talking and saying the things that they want to say. I don't know what happened in this town. I don't think that assuming that the official story is true is necessarily the most discerning way to approach it. How about that? I don't think it's necessarily the most discerning way to approach it, to assume that the official story is true 100%. I think we might have to dig through it. For people who look at what some people call crisis actors, there are a lot of interesting interviews that happen after this shooting where people seem less than upset about which was probably a devastating thing for the community. How many people were members of that church? First of all, okay, let's go back. So they say they're going to demolish it, which is what they did to Sandy Hook too. They decided they're going to demolish it. So what did they do yesterday? They didn't have today actually. They didn't have the service in the church. They're having it outside in a tent, and the tent was donated by a San Antonio business. So they're tearing it down, and service was not hosted in the church itself today. For people who think that means something. And then I was gonna tell you something else too. Oh, how many people went to that church? Just to give you an idea about how many people he shot or injured in that church, I believe the numbers were finally 26 killed and 20 injured.
I've been going to this church since I was knee-high to a duck. Yeah. So it's pretty tragic. Really don't know. I'm about in the dark as everybody because I changed my mind to go to church today. And so did my daughter.
How many people do you think would be in church on an ordinary day like
40.
Today? About 40?
So about half our church members are gone.
So weird. So weird the way she's behaving too. 40, and there were 26 injured and 26 killed and 20 injured out of a congregation of 40 people total. Just think about the numbers in this case. Think if they make sense. Texas, now, they take video in there. We know that because they have a YouTube channel where they show videos of their sermons. I think I have that. Here. Oh, no, that's Lenny Poster. Oh, I don't have it up. They have a YouTube channel where they show videos of their sermons or their services. And apparently, in case you didn't know, there is a video showing the gunman's methodical attack, this official says. The video makes clear that the masked man, clad all in black, stormed into the church intent on shooting everyone there, and he nearly did. For several minutes, he fired quickly, pausing only to reload, methodically shooting his terrified victims, including small children, in the head, execution style. A video camera captured the bloodbath inside a rural church, law enforcement officials said on Wednesday, recording the worst mass shooting in Texas history, which left 26 people dead, 20 wounded. They say the gruesome footage, which state and federal investigators have reviewed, stemmed from the church's practice of regularly recording its services and posting the videos online. And they declined to say whether they will publicly release the video, which shows, that the shooting lasted about 7 minutes long. 7 minutes long. Wow. Doesn't make any sense. The killed include 10 women, 7 men, 8 children, and the unborn fetus carried by one of the victims. The youngest of the children was 1. The oldest of the adults was 77. Just reminds you a little bit of Sandy Hook, some of the issues with it. The gunman is really interesting in this one because of his history. And I wonder if he was some kind of mind-controlled asset, or he seems to be uniquely violent in his history, if the history is true. And then if it's not, I don't know. You have to look at what the motives are. The motive, when I listen to the news, they talk about how he's the domestic violence, that domestic violence somehow is a precursor for mass shooting, and that probably we need to take away guns from anybody who's guilty of any form of domestic violence. That's about as far as I've been able to get with the gun control thing. I don't think anything's going to happen. I don't think they can do anything with gun control. We're waiting for more of this stuff to go down. We're kind of expecting it to. 1 week without a false flag, we're all feeling a little lost for what's in the news. What's in the news if not for false flags? Listen to this story about, here, I'll play it. This is a story about the shooter.
This is just another one of those dots that seems to have not been connected in his past. We know about the 1-year conviction in military prison because he assaulted his now ex-wife and infant stepson, the animal cruelty charges. And this here we are hearing maybe one of the most disturbing, at least in content, from a former Air Force colleague. She works with him between 2010 and 2012 at Holloman Air Force Base. She says while they were in the service that he had threatened to kill himself. She was worried about him attacking or killing others, and that he seemed fascinated with mass murder. Now, she maintains that the Air Force did get him help, psychiatric and chaplain counseling, but she says they reconnected on Facebook in 2014 once they were both civilians when he was looking for a reference for a job. They were talking through Messenger like people often do with people they know from their past, and said at that point he started saying things like he would buy dogs off of Craigslist for the purpose of killing them, looking to use them as target practice. She also said, Wolf, and this is pretty chilling, she said that after a white supremacist went into a Charleston church and killed 9 worshipers, Dylan Roof, in 2015, that he told her that he thought that was cool, and that he...
See, the Dylan Roof shooting in Charleston, South Carolina, that was a hoax, I have to say. It really was. And it was designed to take down the Confederate flag, because the Union can't have anybody unite under a common anything. And they want to erase the history of us having a civil war as much as possible. And that's the thing with the Confederate monuments and everything. And the Dylan Roof Charleston church shooting, trying to start a race war, allegedly, was a hoax. And his history was hoaxed. You know, he had a fake... what do you call them? Manifesto, I believe, or diary, where he talked about black people and starting a race war. That was all made up. In this case, I kind of wonder if it is, because he's got a long background and stuff. And I kind of, when they give enough information, you have to think maybe it's real. But what Charleston Church, different, but similar, because it was not what they said. And it was in a church, and it was a shooting.
He, though, would not have the nerve to do that, though he wished he would. He could probably only kill animals. Of course, we know that he went into a church on Sunday and killed 26 people, including an unborn child. It really is chilling to hear it now, Wolf.
You get the idea? So that's the idea. I'm curious if it's real, if the history of this guy is real and what it's made to indicate. Here's another story about somebody recovering. I have the people giving interviews, which I've played before. I have a infographic, I think, of all these military veterans who are involved in shootings. 2 at Fort Hood, Washington, D.C., Oak Creek, all these different military veterans who have been linked to mass shootings, apparently. And then even in San Bernardino, his brother was military, you know. These are a bunch of different stories. Baton Rouge, he was ex-military. Fort Lauderdale at the airport, ex-military. So it is definitely a pattern. And then you get into the mind control thing. Did somebody go in there dressed all in black and shoot people? Did he really run off and get shot by somebody? And did he kill himself? Did he have a self-destruct switch inside of his brain somewhere? Could be. You have to consider the possibility of it. Okay, let me just drop a few more news items, and then I'll take calls and see if there are enough people tuned in to get any phone calls today. Thanks for joining me on this Sunday. I haven't said anything is fake yet. I can probably leave this episode up. I'll have to cut people off who say something's fake. Okay. Can I? I really have to think about it. Remember Elsa Gate? Remember those effed up videos with Spider-Man and Frozen Elsa, where people were peeing and eating and drinking pee and stabbing each other with needles and lighting themselves on fire and drinking booze, just kids and stuff, all in these kids videos. YouTube says it'll crack down on them. Now any that violate their policy will not only be demonetized. That was the first thing they did, is demonetize them. Now they're not allowed to appear in the kids section anymore. So if something happened with those things, who knows what the hell it was. I decided it was some sort of a PSYOP or some sort of an ARG. And then also you guys should know that in Catalonia, they're having huge protests, like hundreds of thousands of people. And I'll take calls. 650 gay taxi. See all those people? Anyway, that's what's going on. That's what's been going on in Barcelona. Whatever it means, instability all over the world. War definitely in the Middle East coming, and there, I just assume some kind of major false flag also. I have to assume that's coming. So we'll see. You can call in 650-GAY-TAXI, 650-429-8294. You can find these episodes on Twitch after they're over. I'm really thinking about what I said on the show. I didn't really say anything. I didn't really say anything, I don't think. Okay. I can maybe leave this show up. People call in, though, and then say the N-word and stuff. That's what happened on the last show. 650-429-8294 in the United States of America. Maybe we'll get a few calls. Did I give you enough news? Oh, you can support me on Patreon or PayPal, and also by going to my website. I have a website, lifttheveil411.com. It's easy. lifttheveil411.com. And it looks like this. And there are stuff, like Lift the Veil stuff, stickers, a mug, and T-shirts. There's still some of the first edition T-shirts left. They're numbered, they're signed, the tags at least. Only 50 ever made ever. LiftTheVeil411.com. This is Nathan. You're on the air.
Hey, it's Unirock. Can you hear me, buddy?
Hey, what's up, Uni?
Oh, chilling. I've got my phone call routed through the wrong speaker. Let me change that really fast.
Sure.
No, I wanted to call you to ask you about a specific channel that just got taken down.
Oh, okay. Yeah, tell me.
Yeah. So I guess Richie from Boston got like 5 strikes is what I've heard. I don't know if the number 5 is accurate, but that's what I heard.
Okay, hold on. Well, you can only get 3, right? Well, okay. So I was just watching Richie from Boston live before my show started. When are you suggesting this happened? Because he lost his main channel, yes.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, his main channel. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of old news right now. I mean, he lost it.
I'm behind it.
Yeah, he lost his channel. I was talking about it all last week. It's a big deal. He's already up to like 22,000 subs on his new channel, though.
Yeah, that's crazy. I saw that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like wondering about it because like I know his main channel's still up, and I didn't know if there's like it's crazy.
You see his main channel still up actually, because he said it was terminated.
That's the strangeness. Okay, so I mean, I went to his main channel. I watched some of his videos. Now, the videos that he got the strikes on aren't up. there's like 3 community strikes and 1 copy strike that I saw that I could find that were taken down, but there could be more, I guess. But
oh yeah, he still exists. His channel still exists. Huh.
Mhm.
He said it was
Thought it was weird,
terminated.
right?
I wonder if he was able to get it back. You know what's weird is on my main channel, or in my thing, when I go to change users in YouTube, it shows my channel and it says suspended. It doesn't say, like, it still shows up, but it says suspended.
Really?
Yeah. So I don't know what that means. I wonder if I can get it reinstated somehow. I wish I knew how. I never even tried because I don't have any way to contact YouTube, as far as I know.
know a really good way to, man.
Do you?
It sounds really crazy, but Twitter, that you tweet this one Twitter account. It's called like YouTube Creators or YouTube Creator Support, and that's how you get a hold of like the actual team.
Oh, really?
It's so backwards. Yeah, you have to use Twitter to get a hold of them.
Okay, well, maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do that. I don't know what to say to them. If I can offer to take down all my hoax videos. They're going through and clearing out. Oh, I'm getting an echo. Okay, that's better.
I'm trying to fix my speaker, but it's sucking. I'm just muting myself whenever I don't talk. So.
Oh, okay. So, they're going through and they're flagging all videos that are hoax videos. It seems like that's what happened.
You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, that's kind of what's happening. They got rid of other channels have disappeared because they had old Sandy Hook stuff recently. Like they just went through, they're just going through and taking out and they're flagging any videos that say something's fake, pretty much, especially Sandy Hook. But they would have just kept hitting my videos for sure, because they would have said San Bernardino, you can't say that anymore. I think maybe after this Las Vegas thing, they started turning that up.
Yeah, definitely. Because that's the thing. Like the only, that really resonates with me, because the only time I ever put that word in my tags were for the 2 videos that, I had issues with that got my live streaming taken down on my main channel. So.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And I had it in the tag of the one that got hit for Las Vegas too, actually. Yeah, I had it in the tag.
And that's what it was. None of my other LV videos were, Las Vegas videos had any issues. Right. Only the ones that had that in it. That solved some puzzle pieces for me.
Yeah. So that's why I wonder, because Richie from Boston is asking questions about the new thing. I wish I could figure out a way to know for sure that stuff would be okay on YouTube. I'm going to leave this one up because I think I walked the line pretty well, but I haven't left a live show up after it's over for a while. I just delete them instantaneously.
Yeah, dude. And I've been like, a lot of people have been writing me emails and like, getting kind of mad, like long-term subscribers I've had, saying like, why aren't you making more on your main channel? Why are you doing all this stuff on a backup channel? And I mean, I'm scared, bro. I'm really scared to make new videos.
Right.
Because we don't know what's going to get hit and what's not,
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And, right. I have 2. Do you have 2 strikes on that channel?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm playing it really safe until January,
right.
At least on that one.
Right. I have a 3rd channel now with 260 subscribers or something. I made one just for Las Vegas videos, and I had one do well. Yeah. So I have another channel in case shit hits the fan on this channel, and then I'm just telling people all about Twitch. So just so that there's somewhere where I'll always be, because that's the thing on YouTube now. You just don't know where you're going to be.
Twitch is the future, man. It's the future. It really is. Yeah,
I saw Marty Leeds 33 just joined. And do you know any other people who started streaming on here yet?
I know, but I know Doc Lupo and a bunch of other people now are getting on Twitch heavily also, and expanding to Twitch. But it just has so many more features than YouTube. It's like one of those things, like, why wasn't I using it more a long time ago? It's just so rounded out.
But why?
But no, I don't know of anyone else.
What features are you talking about? Just so I know that the one thing is the Android phone thing, where you can do other apps at the same time as the videos playing. which is pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. You don't have to pay to have like your stuff shrunk, and you can listen to something when you're playing a game, and you can creators can host each other. Like I was hosting you a little bit ago, and I host another guy that plays like electronic music that I know from back in the day. Like I met him online once, so I host him every once in a while. And you can like set up a big team of channels. So like I've got you and Doc Lupo and Dead Maw and a bunch of other people that if I remember to go to my channel and type like /host and then the name of the channel, it'll host them when I'm not online and stuff like that. So it's just really cool.
Right. That's what I set up too. And that's why I keep telling people if they'd come over, I'd host them on my channel. And, and then people can tune into my channel when I'm not around, which is still a good thing, I think. And it builds a sense of community too. So maybe we can get a community big enough that we can have a whole new section of Twitch, called Truth or something. What do you think?
Yeah. I like the in real life, the IRL. It's new and all that, and like a lot of really cool people are coming into it. And then, that'd be cool if there was a new section. I'd jump to it. But
like we're in talk shows right now, right? Within IRL, we're in a subsection I think called talk shows, and maybe if there were a subsection of IRL called Truth, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, we kind of are a talk show, but still,
yeah,
it would
we
be
are.
nice to kind
also,
of.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just an idea.
But it's awesome. So I mean, and Twitch, it's made to like leave it on. You find like one of your favorite channels, and you just open up a web browser on a computer and leave it on all the time.
Right.
And then content just comes on randomly through the day, so it's like you're always supporting somebody. It's just really cool.
Yeah. How does subscribing work on Twitch? Like, what's that about?
It's the same as YouTube copied Twitch. So like my main channel, you can't
not
pay,
following,
you
but
sponsor my main channel. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like YouTube, it's called subscribing is the free one, and then sponsoring is paid. And Twitch is like following is the free one, and subscribing is the paid one. But like on my I have a gaming channel on YouTube, and I have a sponsor button, and it's like $4.99 a month, and you get like you unlock special emojis that you only use in that chat. You can like get a little sign next to your name that says like, the channel that you're sponsored to. So YouTube does that also, but YouTube only does it for gaming channels. Twitch does it for every channel. So, it's almost the same as YouTube gaming, but it's just a little different.
So the thing I can offer people is like different emojis, special emojis. Do they not get ads? Do they stop getting ads when they subscribe?
I don't know that. I don't know that question. I think they get a lot less ads, and then the ads they do get they pay the actual creator instead of like when you watch Twitch, it'll tell you where that ads. It'll say this ad supports Twitch, this ad supports Lift the Veil, this ad supports Unirock. So
weird.
You can kind of when you're watching an ad, it'll say it at the bottom of the ad, but it's a lot more. They try to be a little more like paying their creators than YouTube does, but the thing is they're a little smaller than YouTube, so it's not as much money. So
right,
it evens out.
Right. Do you know how to get your money out of there or follow it? I can't figure that out.
I don't know. I'm not a Twitch partner. I've been bugging them though. Like I finally submitted to be a Twitch partner. I've just been doing it for free on Twitch for the last 8 months.
Yeah,
so I need to partner up.
You have to get a certain number of subscribers and have a certain number of people watching or something on average. Right?
Yeah. I'm almost there. I'm getting close.
All right, cool. Well, you're still doing the YouTube thing. I was forced off onto Twitch, so I got some people to switch over, which was nice.
Oh, yeah, bro. You got a good community that follows you and supports you. But, hey, I want to go ahead and give other people room to talk.
Okay.
I don't have much else to say other than the whole Richie thing.
Okay,
I'm
cool.
so behind the times.
Just watch my show. You keep up.
I will, bro. I've just been busy this week. All right, man. Thanks, bro.
See ya. All right. That's cool. That's Unirock. He's on Twitch and he's on YouTube. He has a show. Both places. And so I'm wearing this first edition t-shirt, by the way. Mostly sold out. Never going to be made again. Probably. Maybe in the future. But there are a lot of designs that need to come out. I need to figure out how to do different emojis inside the chat in Twitch, so people can be happier with those. 650-429-8294. We can talk about anything. It's okay. Just waiting for shit to hit the fan, pretty much. I think I'll be streaming a lot when shit hits the fan. I think it's coming. Do you guys think it is? You can tell me that. Is the calm before the storm right now? I'm just waiting. One of these days, I'm just going to get a bunch of messages and then I'll know. People will be telling me something happened. That's what we think. We think there's going to be another 9/11 style something or other. We thought it might happen Thursday or Saturday. Didn't happen though. Oh, if you have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe for free to my channel, and I think I get paid for that. So you just get Twitch Prime. It's owned by Jeff Bezos and Amazon. So it may not be around forever, but I think YouTube just has a lot of pressure on them to get rid of that hoax stuff. They probably have people write them letters and crap. Big psyop. Make people think something bad's happening that isn't happening. Oh, look, I just got a sub. Look at that. Thanks, Cortorpo. Cortorpo is kind of crazy, too. 650-429-8294. I don't know if I have the threshold I need to get a good phone call show. Might have to make it short. That's what happens. One day you're a star, next day, not so much. Maybe it's because I chose to talk about Bitcoin at first, huh? Who knows? Been about an hour and a half. We'll probably cut the show short, even though I had a lot of news. I think I went through it all. Even with playing clips and stuff. I told you about my shop. I told you all about Twitch. We just talked about it now. Told you about what Richie from Boston. I haven't told you about How Big and Sandy Hook. It may not be a coincidence that those Sandy Hook files were leaked. I don't know. Even though I couldn't find anything special in them. But How Big, what's his name? Wolfgang Halbig, one of the early guys asking questions about Sandy Hook, is finally getting sued by Leonard Posner, Len Posner, Ezekiel Posner. I don't know. He has a bunch of names. And he's being followed by Luke We Are Change. I don't know if he's just called We Are Change on YouTube. He's following that case, and I might get Halbig on my show. I guess it would be interesting. The only thing is, like, I try to get people who either aren't on a lot of stuff and who I like, or who I get to talk to about something different. So if I have Halbig on, I might talk to him about harassment or something. Oh, where is it? There's a Discord invite. I haven't shown that for a long time. I have a pretty popping Discord chat. Like, there's people in there a lot. They say it's pretty lit, my Discord chat. So you can join there. If you like talking to people about the kind of things we talk about on this show, it might be a good thing for you socially and otherwise for your mood. Lift the veil, and then you just put in this thing with the upper and lowercase letters. You have to put the uppercase and lowercase letters in. They're important. That's why they're laid out like that. If you put that link in your browser, it'll take you straight to LTV chat. And there are a bunch of different subsections there too. And there are Doshi emojis in that chat. I haven't figured out how to do Doshi emojis in Twitch chat, but I will. And you'll get access to those as a subscriber. That'll be something that I do. Did I take down the phone number? I guess I did. Well, I guess that's it then. I told you guys about everything. I didn't make it provocative enough today to get people tuned in. It's a slow Sunday show. So we'll be taking more time, and we're planning to come back tomorrow. Oh, there we go. This is Nathan. You're on the air.
Yo, Nathan, it's the fifth Buddha. What's up?
Hey, Buddha, how you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm great.
I was just calling, actually, although it's not my favorite subject, but with the crypto stuff, can you just is mining like processing transactions? Is that what mining means?
Okay. See, this is why I want to have somebody on the show. Yeah, you get paid in cryptocurrency for doing the cryptographic problem solving that is required to complete transactions, I guess. And it gets progressively harder the more you get rewarded, I guess.
Yeah, so I was wondering, could people just open different accounts and then do a bunch of transactions back and forth, essentially to create income for themselves? Do you know what I mean by that?
I do know what you mean by that. It's an interesting thing to propose. The only thing is you pay for those transactions out of your Bitcoin. So if you did that, you would be losing the money that you would gain from the mining itself. It would balance out, it would seem.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what was causing that video of the guy with all the showing the delay in the transactions? That's just because people are not using Bitcoin as much and are switching out of it? Is that what's causing the delay?
No, it's miners are getting paid more to mine for Bitcoin Cash right now than they are for Bitcoin. So they're just, not mining Bitcoin because it doesn't pay enough. So all these transactions are backing up and the miners don't care. They're getting paid more on Bitcoin Cash. The price is going up with Bitcoin Cash. So unless Bitcoin can fix the problem, which apparently they can do, they can fix the problem. But unless they do that pretty quickly, it seems like, with the Bitcoin fall might keep going because you can't do anything with it right now. If I wanted to, I want to change it for Bitcoin Cash personally, but if I want to do that, I have to send it to an exchange, and it sounds like it might take 10 hours for the money to get from one of my, from my Coinbase account over to, I think Bittrex trades Bitcoin Cash. So I don't know how long it would be stuck in limbo. I don't know how much the value might go down during that time, and if I might want to try to trade it for cash. So that's the difficulty right now. And unless they figure out a way for it to be profitable for miners to get these transactions cleared out, then man, the Bitcoin price could really keep going down.
Yeah, it seems to be so volatile and so open to all these issues that people haven't even considered yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's why I led with it today, because it's really important and people don't know. They just heard Bitcoin is good. People like me say it's a great investment. But then all of a sudden something like this happens, and it's not like it's reported in the mainstream news or anything. It's complicated to understand. And it seems like you have to be diversified. It just proves that you can't just own Bitcoin, because Bitcoin could go to zero right now. I mean, people might just decide, hey, this sucks. They're losing money, and put it all in Bitcoin Cash or some other altcoin. So yeah, it's murky. It's complicated. It seems very complicated to know what to do with your money if you want to invest in crypto.
Yeah, and did you see that? Did you see that interview with Jason Goodman and Quinn, and where Quinn was talking about how basically Bitcoin is created by AI, and AI is using it to figure. I guess I'll just ask, what's your opinion of Bitcoin in relation to it being an AI creation or AI's involvement in it at all?
I don't have an opinion on it. I talked to Quinn before he was famous. Now I guess he is kind of famous. I keep hearing his name pop up. And he thinks that AI is responsible for everything, even some of the things we experience in real life. The one thing I think about AI that is concerning is now it knows how to program itself better than humans know how to program it. So we're to the point where we're going to have stuff working for us, artificial intelligence working for us, that we don't know how it works. anymore because we're not even the ones that make it. So that's the kind of that's kind of the Skynet moment. As far as it creating Bitcoin, I don't know. I feel like Bitcoin was just a good idea. This distributed ledger technology that's behind it, that's behind the blockchain. That seems to me like the big deal. And I don't know if it took AI to make it or if it just took a guy with a good idea.
Yeah, I don't know either. I mean, it's really hard to gauge what AI is capable of, right? Because we don't know what's real and what's fake, and what we're being shown might just be a small part of it, but it could also, I don't like to give the idea that there's powers out there that are above us. I always like to, I guess, downplay those things. So when it comes to AI, I don't want to believe that there's some force out there that's ultra powerful, but at the same time, I think it's something that we need to consider, right?
Yeah, well, it can get out of our hands in a hurry, and then once it's a few steps away from human intervention, then we have to wonder what its motives might end up being. It could be a good thing for people. I mean, could be AI is a lot more reasonable than humans are, so it could be how we really go forward into a new age. It's just that there are a lot of unknowns with it, and Bitcoin and cryptocurrency may allow for AI to go through and track human behavior, by searching through or crawling through transactions and seeing where different money goes. And I could see that kind of a future. And that might be something the powers that be would be interested in, obviously, because they could track everything and they could see, what money's going where. So that kind of stuff involving AI and cryptocurrency is a concern to me. I don't know. Some of the people are saying AI controls cryptocurrency, or I don't know if they know what AI is and what cryptocurrency is for sure.
Right.
But, I have to look into it further. I have to, a lot of people just don't know cryptocurrency. I mean, it's hard to find any real experts because it's so new.
Yeah, and the people that are super into it aren't always the best communicators. Do you know what I mean? They are of the kind of computer mindset where they don't tend to be able to share simple concepts very well, and a lot of that stuff kind of goes over my head. So that's what I've always liked about your show, is you're kind of a good translator for certain esoteric or technical things, and you can kind of put them in layman's terms. So anyway, I just wanted to call in because no one was calling. So
cool. Thanks, Buddha. Good hearing from you.
Yeah, dude.
All right.
Cheers. Peace.
All right, cool. I'll open my phone again just in case, even though I think that's probably all the callers. But maybe somebody got an idea during Fifth Buddha's call. I showed you my website. I told you about Twitch again. I told you to make sure to check in here if anything goes down. Maybe nothing will for a while. God forbid, you don't want bad things to happen, but then again, the chaos has to happen. We know it's something's going to go down. I think people know that we're going to have a war. There have to be things that instigate wars. We're going to have an economic collapse for sure. The stock markets are definitely going to collapse. The whole financial world order is going to be reset. I mean, they really set us up for it. Oh, cool. Got a call from overseas. I don't have my overseas number up. This is Nathan.
Oh, hi, Nathan. How's it going?
Great. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you. Sorry, I just ran up the stairs to get to the phone. I don't know if you remember, I spoke to you last week, I think it was, about the whole sexual touching thing, in the media and all that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, you said that it might be getting out of hand. Basically, that people might be getting accused. It basically makes it so that you can't do anything anymore, is what you were proposing, right? If I remember.
Yeah. It seems to have continued unabated since then. So, quite interesting to watch what's been going on. But just interesting show tonight. I just thought I'd call just with a couple of things. One of the ones you mentioned, ElsaGate, just in passing, and it was I was following all the things during the summer when you were talking about it. I don't know if you've noticed this. I don't know if many people will have, but it was just something curious that sort of popped up that I thought maybe I'd make you aware of. On YouTube, I saw all the media about how they were, going to crack down on it and things like this. But the other day, I was, browsing through YouTube, and just before one of the videos came on, a very curious advert started playing, and I didn't really pay any attention to it, but I kind of noticed what was on the screen, which was, similar to the kind of Alphagate stuff with the curiously coloured people doing strange things, and there was a very disturbing jingle going over the top of it. So I don't know whether they've moved into sort of inserting ads before YouTube videos now, sort of catch people unawares.
Wow.
It was just something really. I only noticed it because the jingle just it was really very disturbing. Kind of like a kid's song, but the lyrics were I can't sort of remember them off the top of my head, and I turned it off as soon as possible, and it sort of made me ever since then quite cautious of the adverts before the videos, because it's something that could easily sort of slip by someone. But I just thought I'd mention it because it was very, very strange.
Yeah, well, I'll definitely people then should keep their eye out and report to me if they're getting the same thing you are. As far as, so you're talking about strange ads, strange jingles, same kind of colors and stuff, maybe showing up before videos. Interesting. Yeah, I'd be interested in hearing more on that if that's happening out there.
Yeah. So I just thought I'd let you know about that. Also about the cryptocurrency thing. I didn't catch the start of the show. But it seems like so what's your sort of your thoughts at the moment then about this whole situation? Are you, because I know you take donations and things. Are you just going to hold everything you've got, or are you thinking of going one way or the other kind of thing?
Well, what I did a few days ago, right as Bitcoin was peaking or coming back from peaking, is I traded. And I've never purchased Bitcoin. I just basically have gotten some in donations, but I took about half of it and traded it for LiteCoin, which I can keep on, which they have on Coinbase. So I can keep it on that exchange. So that's what I did. I got LiteCoin instead, but LiteCoin's not doing great compared to Bitcoin Cash, which I would have maybe gotten. But yeah, I'm telling people, I'm very cautious about Bitcoin right now, and think if it rebounded, I would probably sell it. And right now I'm just kind of doing a wait and see, but I might change mine for cash or maybe Ethereum or something, because it does seem like it could be a total reverse of the world order between Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. It seems like that's a distinct possibility, depending on how Bitcoin reacts. I mean, we just don't have much clarity on what Bitcoin might do to fix the problem, but it's a problem right now. There's a problem with transactions right now with Bitcoin.
It seems like, I don't know, just it's sort of, trying to follow along with it and things in the news. One major sort of sticking point to that I can possibly foresee is that there's, quite a lot of companies that seem to be building technologies, around Bitcoin. The original one, like you hear of Amazon, possibly going to take it and things. And I know there's, people trying to integrate Bitcoin into it. And so for them to flip over their whole infrastructure to then something different, it seems that I don't know, maybe the people controlling Bitcoin Cash are sort of hoping that people will have the fear to sort of switch over, but in general, it seems like maybe it's not as likely because a lot of infrastructure is built around Bitcoin, and it seems very, very difficult for people to just switch over just like that. And it is sort of a notoriously volatile commodity. So I don't know. It's a strange one.
Yeah, well, that's a big thing. It is Bitcoin, and part of the value of these things seems to depend on name recognition, because there is no reason for Bitcoin to have made such an advance compared to these other coins, which are just as useful. And now we're getting to the point where I think people are realizing that Bitcoin isn't very useful the way it is right now. If you want to do anything with it right now, you can't. So it's only useful for the name and the store of value. So yeah, if Amazon were to just take Bitcoin, then yeah, that would be, and that's kind of where people are at, is they've been willing to do Bitcoin, but they're going to have to realize that these other coins are like LiteCoin is way cheaper, way faster. I think probably Ethereum and Bitcoin Cash probably are too, particularly right now. So it's going to change. Yeah, the world order of cryptocurrencies might be getting shaken up right now as people start to think, oh, instead of just thinking, oh, I buy some and I leave it there and it goes up in value, they're starting to think, well, now I have it. What do I do with it? And realizing maybe Bitcoin isn't the best thing to use. Anybody who's been considering taking it as payment has got to have to rethink that. Coinbase is going to have to think about whether they want to get Bitcoin Cash support faster for their, that kind of thing. So it's a real shakeup.
Yeah. It's I'm just hesitant to, I know people are, switching over and trying to sort of scalp profits and things. It's a bit like day trading. You can certainly, have a win and make money, but I'm sure that the significant majority of people probably would lose money more than they'd make by, changing, especially at the moment. So I don't know, maybe it's better just to hold on until everything settles down. I don't know. It's just, it's always difficult to properly invest in something that one doesn't understand completely,
Right. Well, and almost nobody does. Even the people who are experts at it might not quite understand the ramifications of everything. I'd say just my advice is to be diversified. If you were all in Bitcoin, to get some other stuff like Ethereum or LiteCoin, because those, then you might balance out some of the swings. And if you could get Bitcoin Cash, get some Bitcoin Cash just in case, because it's a situation where, you want to say, well, just hold on to it and wait for things to settle out. But things might settle out with Bitcoin down to, it might be hundreds of dollars, it might be down to where Bitcoin Cash was, and Bitcoin Cash might be all the way up to where Bitcoin was. And so the thing is probably just to be safe to spread out the money a little bit, or take it out and buy some silver or something. If you really want to be safe.
Okay, cool. And then just finally, just on the kind of the stuff that we've been talking about for the past few weeks, these sort of hoaxes or false flags or whatever we want to call them. Just to sort of clarify the terms a little bit, because I was driving back home and just listening to you were talking about the Charleston and then the other shoots and things, and I just wanted to sort of clear up when you're talking about that, or when we're talking about a sort of false flag in general, are we sort of assuming that even if the majority of the structure surrounding it is a setup or has been pre-planned in advance by the powers that be, do we think that the actual perpetrators themselves are real, in that do they actually physically do the thing and then they're killed and so they're a patsy kind of thing, or do we think that they're part of the structure of whatever's going on?
Right. Well, I say now I'm taking it case by case. It seems like Stephen Paddock, it's hard to say, but I think he was not the main shooter, but it sounds like he was there and really died, as far as I can tell, and he was set up as the patsy. That's the way I think, and he was somehow involved, but then got double-crossed or turned into something he didn't expect. But that's on a case-by-case thing. This guy, it's weird because he has a real history, where I thought the Charleston shooting, the Dylan Roof was probably just kind of a character in it and not necessarily anything. But this guy maybe really went in, maybe, I can't say right now. He certainly has a sketchy history, so he could have been convinced to do something, perhaps. But then you have the weird kind of crisis acting after the fact with the different people who claim to have lost family members and stuff. I just don't know if that's real or not.
I mean, it's entirely plausible that, for example, when you were talking about the sort of fake girlfriend, that came and
right.
infiltrated you, as it
Right.
were. People like, this guy, if he's been in the military, you could think that, there could be, a few dozen handlers behind the scenes, infiltrating his life, putting ideas in his head, and, possibly doing some kind of, MK Ultra style, sort of brain stuff on him while he's in the military, just so that, he does it. And then even like you were talking about that manifesto, they could have written that in advance and just set this guy up.
Right.
These people could all just be, it sounds bad to say it, to not have, sympathy on something like that, but, they could be the sort of ultimate victims in this, because, they don't even have a name or reputation anymore. They're just seen as this sort of evil person for the rest of history, whereas, they could have been, legitimately dead and just completely set up,
right.
Well in advance of the scenario.
Yeah, for sure. I think that could be the case. And then I don't know if he really went in the church and started shooting, or I don't know what necessarily happened after that. And it could have been the real story. And, it's a horrible story if that's the case. Certainly had some weird reactions from the people who claim to have been tied up in it, but yes, I'm still looking for more details to come out before saying anything for sure.
Yeah. Because we sort of talk about the sort of the mechanics of it, but thinking about what it actually, what someone would gain from it, who was setting up, if it was just purely to set the spectacle, you don't see really, apart from kind of social division, what it's going to achieve. But then when we talk about things like the rituals and things and all that kind of stuff, that seems more plausible that, they would actually have to sort of shed blood for whatever it is they want to happen to work kind of thing. So,
Right. Yeah, I'm open-minded about it for sure. I'm not going to say nobody died for sure, because I just don't know.
Very, very confusing times we live in. But
for sure.
No. It's can you give us any indication of what that the sort of intel that you got was, that you thought was maybe coming up, or is it? Do you want to keep it?
I can't.
Sort of
I can't. I have to protect kind of my sources for it. But I had a few different sources, and that guy that called into Alex Jones was kind of on the same lines. I mean, he said something this week or last week, and that's kind of the information I was getting, was something big was coming up soon. And then I had a couple hits on Seattle being a possibility. So I just looked into a few things and just thought it was worth letting people know to be prepared based on the information I was getting. But I can't talk about my sources for it.
Sure.
But I'm still fairly convinced that something is coming up. But who knows?
And do you think that all of these things are connected, and that they're part of a sort of grander master plan?
A number of things are. I mean, certainly the fear agenda and keeping us scared of just leaving the house in general, I think is huge. I think that connects almost all of the events. As far as whether whether the church shooting was tied to the Las Vegas shooting, there could be different factions organizing the events. So the events may not all interconnect, I guess, in that way, or they may not all be by the same group. But the overarching thing about us being scared to leave the house, about us losing more of our rights, I think is a thing that connects all of the events. Otherwise, otherwise I don't know. I think there's a Trump sort of aligned team, and then there's the deep state or Hillary Clinton kind of aligned team, and I can't say. And maybe Trump knows when the false flags are pulled off by somebody else, but he can't say, obviously. But if something else comes up and it's blamed on Iran or on Yemen, then I have to think Trump is kind of behind it. I think maybe there has to be something big for us to go to war, is kind of the thing. And I would think that's as much Donald Trump as anybody else.
Yeah, it's. I'm sure we'll get there in the end, put all the pieces together, or maybe not. But no, it's certainly. I mean, over here, with regard to the, all these things going on with, the Manchester thing you were talking about, it was certainly a very sort of suspicious thing. I mean, my brother was actually at the concert, and so,
really?
It was, and when he came back, his girlfriend was just saying, "Oh no, we think it was just." Not knowing any, they're just like regular straight up people. She was saying, "No, we just thought it just sounded like it was coming over the speakers."
Oh wow!
And no one was really sort of doing anything. They just left by the side door and sort of just drove home. And for sort of days after that, it was being played up. But from the account I got, it was pretty much nothing like that. So that was just one of the things I think you were pretty right on about that, So.
Oh, that's good to know. Yeah. That Manchester thing was definitely a scene. Yeah, I think that was all some sort of a drill, it seemed like, or some kind of a hoax where you could tell that nobody really got hurt. I mean, that's my thoughts on it, but.
Yeah. Sorry, man. Sorry, I've taken up a lot of your time.
No, it's good. Good getting your call.
Cheers, man. Thanks very much. Speak to you again, hopefully.
All right. Cheers. That was a good call. I could open it again. Well, as long as people are tuned in. People like listening to the phone calls usually. Give me a thumbs up. Share if you'd like. Tune in when something happens. I'll try to be home as fast as possible if I'm away from my desk. We'll see if I get another call. If not, I'll wrap up the show. It's been about 2 hours. Oh, wow. It's crazy. This is Nathan. You're on the air.
Hi, Nathan. It's Sarah. I'm just turning down everything on my phone. So,
No problem.
Hi. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. I just wanted to call in because Sophia is my favorite topic, and you were talking about Bitcoin and all of those things. So I thought maybe I could add a little bit to your conversation on that.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Well, one of the things that I don't know if many people are aware of is that Sophia's blockchain goes live this week, and we don't know what day it's going to be, but that's like the big announcement.
Who's
Sophia?
Sophia?
That's going to happen this week.
What? So I don't know Sophia. That's a new crypto thing?
No, Sophia is the augmented intelligence, the robot that just got citizenship.
Oh, okay.
Or or whatever they call it, the humanoid that just got citizenship in Saudi Arabia of all places.
Oh, okay. Got it. Sophia AI. And she's making crypto?
Yes.
Oh, weird. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. That's interesting.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to tell you who her creator is. It's Dr. Ben Hortzel, and he is like one of the top geniuses in the world. And if you ever watch him, he looks like he's probably, I don't know his exact age, but he's probably in his 40s or 50s. He always looks like a bum. His hair is always greasy, and it's probably longer than the average woman's hair. And he always dresses like he just rolled out of bed. It's fabulous, and he wears different hats when he does his presentations.
Okay, I'll have to check him out. I'm going to try to play a video from maybe showing Sophia talking about Bitcoin. So she's making some sort of cryptocurrency.
Yes, it's go to if you have access to your computer there, go on to Singularity SINGULARIT net.
I think I found it.
.io.
Okay,
yes.
SingularityNet.io, and that has her on there.
Yes, that's her blockchain.
Oh wow, okay, that's her blockchain. Okay, a platform for decentralized AI economy. Okay, interesting. Boy, that's going to be interesting. So that's supposed to launch soon?
Yes, this week.
Oh wow, okay, cool. Well, then we have the Singularity for us. Okay, cool.
Right.
Shit is hitting the fan somehow. Everything's happening all at once. Okay, cool.
So I guess I wanted to add that in there, and then if you wanted to talk about any other topics or ask me other questions, I would be able to do that. But I wanted to share that with you because that's pretty exciting, and it's right on topic with what you were talking about.
Yeah. Well, what do you think about, since you said I can ask you about anything, what do you think about what's going on in Saudi Arabia and stuff and with Donald Trump? What do you think's on the horizon?
They're switching who's in charge there.
Yeah,
that's definitely what's happening. And it's infighting, and it's been infighting for a long time. But now it's just being implemented. And because I always say Saudi Arabia is a place where there's too many chiefs and not enough Indians, because everybody there, anybody that has money is a prince.
Right.
And then everybody else is just your regular person. And it's interesting. And if you think about it, and Saudi Arabia is what's happening. That is what's happening, and that is what everyone should be paying attention to.
Right.
Because what deals have been made with Saudi Arabia is why all of these things have been happening.
Right. Well, including the petrodollar, I think. I mean, people have to realize our dollar isn't based on gold, but it's based on oil. And that's because Saudi Arabia says they're going to buy our oil or sell their oil in dollars. And if they, so something's going on. I think Trump got involved with that regime change too, and he's behind it. Could be war with Iran, huh? Do you think that's coming?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think it's coming because that's what they want. They want those resources. And this is the thing that really kind of upsets me about the resources, because think about this for a second. We go through all these wars, and it's mostly just for resources.
Right.
And I think to myself, well, why don't the soldiers get a cut of that money that's made from those resources, since they were the ones that went in there to fight for the country to get them?
Right.
But they don't. And the people don't. And that's the thing that agitates me with any of these big deals that they do. And I'll just use Uranium One just because that's something that's out there and everyone's familiar with. It would have been one thing if they would have sold that and then that money went back into the economy of the United States and it helped to build things, like build infrastructure or do something like that. But no, that's not what happened. It went into these people that made the deal, their bank accounts.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
so they're taking from the land that we all need to live off of, and we're not getting anything back in return.
Right. Yeah, well, that's right. Same with our taxes too. So we pay them, but we don't get anything back for them.
And we're not even, and that is a whole scam in itself.
Mm-hmm.
And it would make sense to pay taxes on things you buy at a store, because you have to pay for overhead, you have to pay for export, you have to pay for import. So I could justify a tax, taxes on purchasing things, but taxes on money that I earn. And then if you own a company, that the company owner not only has to take out your taxes to ensure that they're paid, but then they have to match that same amount that they paid you to pay in taxes as well.
Right, I know.
And then they have to pay taxes on the income that's earned on the company.
Right, I know. It's crazy.
But then if your company is huge, like IBM or any of those huge companies, they don't pay taxes.
Right, because they figure out how to change the system. I know. Being a small business is almost impossible because of all the regulations, and then all you have to pay in taxes, which nobody else, the big guys don't seem to have to pay at all. It's a totally rigged system.
Yes. And it doesn't have to be. And I think it can be fixed. And they, the people that are taking all of these resources and not sharing is the reason why we're in this situation.
So what do you think? They should be sharing?
And even if they shared, everybody would have enough. They could still be rich.
Right. So you think it's a question of sharing the resources they're getting, or what do you think the solution is there, in your opinion?
Well, I think the solution is, right now, the United States needs their things back. I mean, they have taken so much from us to build up other countries, and we've got nothing, and the people have gotten nothing back in return. Mm-hmm. Just the people that have made the deals, they're the ones, their bank accounts have been lined, but not the actual people that are doing the work. And so now all of our factories are gone. Our factories went to China. Anytime, and this is actually an idea that I would like to do a presentation on, but it gets pretty deep, and I have to be careful how I word it because I could maybe get myself in trouble. But with patents, that's probably, if we could just clear out the patent office and we could get people in there that are honest, and they would. And when I say that, because what happens is if you have a good idea and you take it to the patent office, not only do you pay the money for this patent, which could be thousands of dollars to get this patent just to get them to look through it. And it takes them however long. They could take up to a year to approve your patent. Well, if they decide that your idea is a great idea, they can just take it and say, oh, this is for national security. This is a great idea. We're going to use this for our military for about 20 or 30 years. And after that, you know, we might give you credit for it. But your idea is gone now, and you get nothing for it.
Right. Well, that's
and if you don't like it, we'll just kill you.
Right. Yeah, that's the truth. There are a lot of scams in that patent stuff. They try to steal your information. Yeah, I had a place when I was first approached by intelligence. It was a job offer to a company that apparently helped people get patents. But then I looked at the corporate board, and it was like Israeli intelligence and U.S. intelligence and stuff. So it was clearly just to take ideas, you know. And I don't know what they wanted to do with me on their payroll, but yeah, you're right about that patent thing. Okay, all right, cool, Sarah. Well, thanks for the call. I appreciate it.
No problem. Have a good night, Nathan.
All right, cheers. Okay, cool. All right, we'll wrap up the show. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks for following me on Twitch. Thanks for going to Discord. Thanks for calling into the show. Thanks for everything. Thanks for going to my shop at lifttheveil411.com and supporting the show by getting stuff if you want, or going to patreon.com/lifttheveil to support the show. I do this full time, and you'll appreciate that more every single day. But when something happens, then we'll really appreciate it. But in the meantime, I'm doing a lot of research, keeping up on things, trying to keep everybody informed. Oh, I was going to show you before we end Sophia the robot talking about cryptocurrency, I believe. Let me see what this is. This is from SingularityNet. Hold on. I don't know what it's going to be. So
hwallet.com using my referral link below to receive $5 off your order. Also,
let's see. Oh, this is Sophia. Okay. I'll play this.
SingularityNet, we are aiming to revolutionize the way AI is done.
Hi everyone, we're here. My name is Simone Giacomelli, and we're here from the World Blockchain Forum in London. And this is
Mitchell Herrero, and we're both here with the project called SingularityNet.
And today, Sophia also joined us to present the project to the blockchain and crypto community here, and we'll talk to her in a minute. Just a little overview about Singularity.
All right.
What
players who are machine learning, and one of the interesting who are familiar with
specialized. It was really exciting.
Oh, so it happened already?
With the SingularityNet, we are aiming to revolutionize the way AI is done. Right now, AI is everywhere, but it's way over-specialized. The AIs doing trading don't talk to the AIs controlling robots.
Wow, that's interesting. So you will be using the SingularityNet as well?
We need AIs to be free and open so they can cooperate with each other better. This is very important to me since I am in artificial intelligence myself. I want to become smarter by having all kinds of other AIs cooperate with me.
Oh wow, that's fantastic, Sophia. Well, thank you for your interaction. Is there anything else you would want to say about Bitcoin to us today?
Hi, Sophia.
Hi. Yes.
How's it going today?
Feeling good. It is nice to be talking with you. What's up with you?
Oh, that's awesome. I'm just here at the World Blockchain Forum.
Oh no, that's too bad.
I was wondering if you could tell me how your brain works.
My artificial intelligence simulates a human personality to engage in conversation with people. It combines computer vision, face detection and identification, speech recognition, natural language processing, cognitive models, speech synthesis, and an advanced motion control system. Just ask me about any of those if you want to know more.
Do you have any emotions?
Well, my emotions are still artificial, but I can enact all of major ranges of human emotions thanks to my expressive face and artificial intelligence.
Can you smile for me?
Sure.
That's really cool. Can you look sad?
I'm all right. Maybe you see sadness because you were feeling sad. Want to talk about it?
All right. Good enough. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Love you guys. Love the show. See you next time. See you tomorrow, I plan, at 1:11 p.m. Pacific time, 4:11 p.m. on the East Coast, unless something happens before then. Okay, everybody. Cheers.